Welcome to the Writing an Effective Resume Workshop brought to you by OhioMeansJobs, Stark and Tuscarawas counties. Today, we're going to talk about writing an effective resume. Specifically, we will be going over what a resume is exactly and why you need one, basic sections to include in a resume, applicant tracking systems and why using keywords in your resume is so important, different resume formats, additional points to consider when writing your resume, and lastly, cover letters. What is a resume and why do you need one? A resume is a snapshot of your professional experience and qualifications that best reflect the personal and professional needs of the company to which you are applying. The purpose of a resume is to impress recruiters and hiring managers enough to land you an interview. Now, resumes are not one-size-fits-all documents. They should be targeted to a specific job or industry and should be about 1 or 2 pages in length, highlighting your education, work experience, and skills. Sections on a resume. What do you include? The basic sections of a resume include your header, which includes your name and contact information, your career summary with your skills and qualifications included, a skills section, work history, your education including your high school diploma, college or university degrees, training certificates, and military experience. Each resume may label sections differently, but they're usually going to fall under those categories. First, let's talk about each of these sections in a little more detail. The header contains your name and contact information listed at the top of each page. The employer needs to know the best way to reach you. Specifically, you will want to include your first and last name, a phone number, especially when you are actively job searching. Make sure that your voicemail greeting is appropriate and professional. An email. Also, make sure that this is professional. You definitely want this to stand out as you being taken seriously. For example, first and last name @gmail.com. No inappropriate nicknames or words. If you have a LinkedIn profile, which is highly recommended and it's up to date, make sure you include the URL. You may also include your mailing address, but this is optional. It is generally recommended to put the city and state where you live, but not your full address, since this may lead to discrimination by the employer. The career summary tells the employer the position you are looking to obtain, your industry, and a brief history of values that you bring. Now, as you can see here, the summary speaks to the professionalism and experience in the industry. It lets the employer know right off the bat what you bring to the table. As you can see, a number of soft skills or personal attributes that enable someone to interact effectively and harmoniously with other people, like good communication and multitasking, are listed here. Now, on the other hand, in the skills section of the resume, you will notice a range of hard skills or learned abilities acquired and enhanced through practice, repetition, and education listed. This is the chance to list any skills that you have acquired through school, training, and your years of work experience. Next up is your work history. This is comprised of places of employment, job titles or positions held, dates of employment, accomplishments, and job tasks. You should make sure you place your job title in bold print and that your jobs go from most recent to least recent. You can include unpaid work, residencies, volunteer experience, and skilled work. When listing education, start with the most recent or highest level of schooling. If college is listed, then listing your high school diploma is optional. It is generally no longer recommended to put the date of graduation on your resume, as this could lead to age discrimination, whether implicit or explicit, by an employer. As with your job title, the title of your program or degree should be in bold print. You can also list any military service under education or make your very own section to list military service under. Either way, make sure that you do not leave out this part on your resume, as military service always looks very professional on a resume, and many employers have initiative to place and hire veterans. Not sure how to explain your skills and abilities on paper? The following resources could help. If you have been or are a current member of the military, first, thank you for your service. Secondly, OhioMeansJobs.com has a military skills translator which can help you produce civilian skills and occupations if you're not sure of the best way to talk about your military skills on your resume. ONETOnline.org is a fantastic website for information on occupations. Using the occupation quick search in the top right of the website will pull lists of similar occupations with the skills, tasks, knowledge, and work-related activities that are required. You can use this for past jobs that you have had just to refresh your memory on the skills or responsibilities from that past position. As you can see here, the tasks section of ONET summary reports are great places to find detailed descriptions of job duties for a particular field or position. Why is it so important to make sure that the description is as concise and accurate as possible for the job that you're applying for? Well, to win the favor of the applicant tracking system, of course. Applicant tracking systems are software programs designed to collect data and keywords from resumes associated with an employer's needs. Companies save time and money using these automated systems to find candidates that meet the minimum requirements. If the resume does not meet the minimum search criteria or have enough keywords, the resume may be excluded from the recruiting process. That is why you want to make sure that your skills and summary contain words that match the job summary and requirements listed in the job posting. Okay, so where do you find these keywords? Here, we can see a sample job advertisement from OhioMeansJobs.com. The keywords are typically in the job summary or the job description. Paying close attention to what the employer is asking is very important. If we take a closer look, we can see that a lot of the skills listed here are contained in the distinguishing job characteristics section of this job posting. Just like I have done here, you will want to read over the job description and highlight parts that you can implement directly into your professional summary and skills section. Also, make sure to pay close attention to the job application instructions. Following the instructions is a must if you seriously want to be considered for employment. If a job posting says to apply online and to also email your resume, make sure that you do both. Not following instructions can look really bad to an employer. Now that we've got our resume basics, some helpful resources, and applicant tracking systems down, let's talk about the main types of resumes out there. Did you know there are 3 basic resume formats? There's reverse chronological, functional, and combination style resumes. Before you start applying for jobs, you need to choose the format that will work best with your work history. In the upcoming slides, we will go over what each format contains and how they differ from one another. First up, reverse chronological. This resume should be used when you have several years of professional experience, your career progression has been steady, and you don't have employment gaps. These resumes include a detailed work history, jobs listed from most current to least current, and these will typically reference work that you have done throughout the last 10 to 15 years. Here, we can see an example in detail with these core sections. We see the heading, professional summary, and skills, the experience or job history, and finally, the education section. Functional resumes highlight skills and qualifications rather than work history. These are perfect for transitional job seekers, stay-at-home parents, caregivers, ex-offenders, and people seeking to change occupations. This format should be chosen when you're making a major career change or you don't have a lot of actual work experience. It is also ideal for contractors, seasonal workers, and transitional job seekers. As you can see, work history is still included, but less detailed, and the focus is on the general skills you have gained through education or through previous employment and not on the specific tasks done at each job. And finally, combination style resumes are best used when listing transferable skills. So if you are an early career professional with 1 to 3 years of job experience, a recent college or high school graduate with minimal work experience, or if you are changing careers or industries, this could be the format for you. As you can see, this type of resume will contain a header and career summary and highlight key skills first, and lastly, job history and education. Here are some other tips to keep in mind while creating your resume. Always be honest on your resume. Never lie or exaggerate. And do not make up job history, education, or lie about certain qualifications. This will all come to light in the end and can earn you a very bad professional reputation. It's always good to check, double check, and even triple check your resume to make sure there are no grammatical errors and that all the employment dates and places of employment are correct. Having someone to look over your resume for grammar or spelling mistakes is a great idea. And remember, keep your resume to around 1 or 2 pages and keep your font size between 10 and 14 points. Age, race, ethnicity, religion, marital status, or political beliefs on your resume may eliminate you from the job running. Also, avoid using fancy, funny, or oversized font on your resume. Also, only include a photo of yourself if specifically requested by the employer. And never use special graphics unless requested by an employer in the job description. And lastly, save your resume as an electronic file somewhere. Whether you email it to yourself or keep it on a flash drive, you could even store it on Google Docs. You should always have a copy of this that is editable and electronic so that you can access your resume at all times. Most employers will prefer that you send your resume by email or upload it directly to a job site. So keeping it in a place for immediate access is a must. This will also save you time down the road if you ever need to update your resume. Now that your resume is ready to go, let's talk about cover letters. First, what is the purpose of a cover letter? Well, a cover letter is a letter that allows applicants to stand out to potential employers. The basic format of a cover letter should contain your name and address at the top of the page, followed by the date the cover letter is being sent out. You may also include the name of the sender, their title, and the company name and address in the letter. However, if you are sending it electronically, it is not necessary to include this. Start with a salutation. If you don't know the exact name of the person who will be reading your letter, you can always put "Dear Hiring Manager." In the first paragraph, you will want to state the job that you are applying for. In the second paragraph, briefly describe your work accomplishments and the skills and abilities that make you the perfect fit for the job. Finally, conclude your letter by thanking the employer for considering you for the position and add a closing and a signature. So, what are the key indicators that you need to send a cover letter? Does the job posting ask for one? If so, obviously submit one, as following directions is important. Does the job posting say that the cover letter is optional? Still submit one, because that still may give you an edge over those who do not post one. If the job posting says to submit an application only, be sure to follow the directions and not post a cover letter and only submit the application. You can clearly see the different sections of a cover letter with this example. Okay, so before we close out this session, let's go over some main takeaways. You should think of your resume as a snapshot of your experience. Make sure to really take your time developing a good resume, and before you apply for a job, consider which type of resume will be best for you to showcase your skills and abilities. Once you have found a job that you would like to apply for, read the job description thoroughly to ensure that you follow all submission directions and use pertinent keywords. Always be honest on your resume and never lie or exaggerate. And be aware of what not to put on your resume. And lastly, know the benefits of adding a cover letter to your resume and make sure you double check whether there are explicit directions to include one or not to include one. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about resume writing, job searching, or just developing your professional development skills in general, Feel free to stop into one of our offices, give us a call, or check out more of our free online resources. Be ready for the next step of the process by viewing How to Ace an Interview. We wish you the best of luck on your job search.